If you're sitting there thinking, I would start a video podcast, but I don't have a good enough setup. Wrong! You've got the setup in your hand! So today, together with myself and Veronica and this beautiful iPhone 17, we're gonna set up a professional two-person video podcast using only our iPhone. We'll take a look at all the different affordable and most popular lighting configurations that content creators are using to get professional looks with their iPhones. And at the end of the video, I'll point you towards the next steps to start editing your video podcast using only the smartphone, never touching a computer. We're gonna explore what I like to call the active speaker view hack that you can achieve with one shot on all of the different apps that you can access on the App Store by artificially punching in or zooming in on just the person who's speaking. And if you're a professional of any kind, video producer or audio engineer, you might want to look away because this video might hurt your feelings.
The iPhone 17. The end of your excuses.
Now we can get started right now with what you have. You don't have to wait until you upgrade to some fancy $3,000 or $4,000 Sony camera setup. This will do you just fine. You can plug any assortment of microphones directly into this phone, and this phone will capture incredible video and audio. And then you can edit that video and audio directly on the phone too, and you can publish it to YouTube and Spotify. And then Spotify will distribute the audio only version of that podcast to all of the other podcast directories for free. And here at PSS Creative Media, every week we put out content to help you do just that, to get your podcast, your video podcast onto all of the directories and to start sharing your message with the world. So make sure you subscribe. Come back each week to hang out with us. All right, so I know you're ready to get to the meat and potatoes. First thing we're gonna talk about is audio. What's so cool about the iPhone is that you can use any configuration of really impressive audio directly with the phone. There are really cool wireless microphones you could use with this phone, including the DJI Mic Mini, which is the one I'm wearing now. You can also use the Rode Wireless Micro, which we've done a really cool video where we took it out on the go and tested and compared it in noisy environments and at long distances. And in addition to that, you can use traditional, really cool sounding podcast microphones like this one. For example, you could use a classic, slick looking microphone like the Rode PodMic USB. This puppy comes with a bunch of built-in podcasting effects already inside of it, like noise reduction, compression, and EQ. So you sound and look like a professional podcaster using your phone. That sound that you were hearing came directly from the recording that we made on the iPhone that you saw with no post-processing or magic editing effects added to it. Pretty cool, right? All of these microphone manufacturing companies like DJI and Rode have corresponding apps that you can download on the phone that help you to further adjust the parameters and lock in even more of that custom sound that you might be after with the microphones. As you'll see, there's a lot of audio processing effects on the many video editing apps that you can download at the App Store. Don't worry, we're gonna get there. Hang tight. The good news with the audio is that you can basically just plug it right into the phone and you're ready to go. It really is just plug and play right off the bat. They've made it that easy. So now let's talk about scene composition and getting a really nice two-person video podcast setup going on with this phone. Of course, we are gonna wanna use it horizontal. That's how you're gonna get the full professional YouTube style shot. Now, I always like to start by going into the settings and adding the rule of thirds grid to my phone. Check it out. A tip for scene composition using the iPhone is to head to your settings menu, scroll down to camera, and from the camera menu, you will find grid. Make sure that the grid is turned on, and this will give you that rule of thirds grid from your camera view. And now you have your rule of thirds grid line, and this really helps with scene composition. I like to get my shot set up with the lighting before I even bring Veronica into the mess. And for that, I have two assistants, Lance and Margarita Rosa. So I'm gonna bring in a couple chairs. What we're aiming for here in terms of composition is having your camera at a nice distance away from your subjects and using the back cameras, not the selfie camera here. So you won't really be able to monitor yourself when you're doing your podcasting thing, but that's okay because we want to prioritize using the good cameras. When you're working with two people on camera, you can use this rule of thirds grid to kind of divide things into thirds, into chunks in a nice way, and make sure that each participant has their own side, their own position on your frame so that you can cut in on it later. So once you have the phone positioned at the right height and at the right distance from your subjects, it's not a bad idea and a good practice to leave at least a few feet of distance between your subjects and the back wall if you have space in your room for it. The other thing here is to slightly angle your participants toward each other so they can have a nice conversation this way with each other. It tends to be a little bit more flattering of an angle on most of us, and it avoids sort of that newscastery feeling when they're both straight looking forward. When you do that, it's also a good practice, however, not just to talk to each other, but to remember to look at the camera quite a bit to talk. For myself in particular, I really try to look at the camera more because I don't think that my profile is very flattering.
Who is this guy?
You know, honey, I know that guy doesn't wear pants when he shoots his YouTube videos. I know it. He's a pervert, and he doesn't wear pants.
If you lower the camera, you would see I'm not actually wearing any pants. Okay, so now that we're here, we are going to unpack and take a look at the top lighting equipment being used by creators right now. All right, so now I'm gonna switch to lime green.
It's not a lime green. That's more like a urine yellow.
Speaking of lights, I'm switching the lights using this awesome app on my phone and these gel colors. And the light that I'm using is the newer LED round panel light. Really amazing. I'll leave the link in the description. Now this is the RGB version of this light. That's not one of the ones we're gonna look at because it's a touch more expensive than the newer LED panel light that's just a bi-color. But I just can't get over this light switching thing. And in the back, if I were to just turn this light off, you'll see I just have a gray paper. It's just gray. Ooh, that looks pretty cool too though.
Jeez.
Should have left it at the gray for a while. I just can't get over it, okay?
I mean, come on.
I know you just want to come over here, hang out with me, and push all these colorful buttons.
He's a pervert.
Okay, so now let's unpack and take a look at all of the top lighting equipment that creators are using right now. I'm gonna show you not only an above shot that will show you how we set up these different lighting configurations, starting with a ring light, moving all the way up into our favorite creator combo 3 light pack, but I will also show you the corresponding shots that we get actually through the phone, both with Veronica and I as solo hosts and also in a co-host setup. That way you can make your own decision which is the best light setup that you would like to use. If you need even more help and want to experiment even more with mixing and matching different configurations of equipment, this is something that we've customized and gamified and made so fun in our brand new adaptive podcast growth and learning platform, Podcast Your Way. You can try it out for free by going to podcastyourway.com. Probably gonna blow your mind. Link in the description. And we decided not to even use the iPhone 17 for this demo. This is the iPhone 12.
But hey, it's the Pro Max.
This illustration shows that no matter what model of phone you have, you can still get really good results. So first up, check out just the ring light. Looks pretty good. It would look better if we used some other light to bring up the lighting in the background more, but we wanted to illustrate what just a single ring light would look like. You could pick up this specific ring light for $35 on Amazon right now. Next up, we move up to what have really become some of my favorite lights. I use them for everything now. I'm using 2 of them right now. I use them for a night light when I sleep at night.
I cuddle them.
There's a BR13s and they're only $50 and they come with this really cool stand. And I also made a video recently that you can find right here where you can clamp them to a desk if you want more of a podcast desk situation. But as I said, they come in at $50 US right now. I'll leave the link in the description. Check out this shot where we're using just 2 of them, both on myself and Veronica, and how we would use 2 of them in this shot as a co-host setup. Pretty cool, right? But the background is still a little bit too dark. Now, we also wanted to demonstrate my other 2 all-time favorite lights, and these are the newer LED panel lights 480 with attached softboxes. Now, you gotta pick up the softboxes to go with this type of LED light. These are a touch more powerful than the BR13s that we just saw, and they are a little softer, a little more nuanced. I really think of them as the true workhorse, a wonderful light to have in your kit. Getting 2 of these lights right off the bat, you'll be playing around with the big boys.
And you'll be thanking me.
But really, as you can see from these images, we gotta incorporate a 3rd light. Every good studio setup is gonna have at least 3 lights in the setup, especially for a host and a co-host. And that's because we also need a light to fill in the background a little bit, to have control with what the background looks like behind our talent. So this is where we reveal and bring out the newer LED round panel light. This is the big sister to the little baby brother BR13s. You can also clamp it to the desk, but you'll need a pretty sturdy desk and a pretty sturdy desk clamping stand. These do not come with a stand, so you'll have to purchase a heavy duty light stand to go with them. They come in at about 11 pounds, but they're amazing. And they're incredibly powerful. They have the same technology the BR13s have in them, that there's this built-in softbox type thing in it somehow, that it doesn't make some crazy spotlight on your face. I don't know how it works, but pretty incredible. So in this first example here, we're gonna gonna use the bigger round panel light with the two BR13s and check out how it really starts to build a scene that looks nice. Both with Veronica and I by ourselves, and then with a little bit different of a configuration once you get the host and the co-host going on. You could put it directly in the center and then angle the two BR13s on each side. That should blast enough light in the background still to create a beautiful shot for your co-host situation. And then very similar, the final setup, our ultimate creator bundle pack. We just replaced those BR13s with the newer 480 LED panels, and look how sweet this looks, both on Veronica and I solo. And again, placing that big round panel light in the middle on our co-hosted shot, with each panel light and their softboxes to the side of each participant. Pretty cool stuff. And I know you're anxious both to go try out Podcast Your Way, where we don't just help you with our studio builder app that is similar to what you just looked at, but more gamified and fun, but we also have a cart builder that will take all the equipment you choose and send it to Amazon in one friendly link. And before that, we help you plan out your show completely from topic to title to all of the copy you need, including your description and elevator pitch and tagline. And we also generate a podcast cover art for you. And it's free to sign up, podcastyourway.com. Check it out. But I will also leave the links for the equipment that we covered in the description below. You're welcome. And let's finish with Lance y Margarita Rosa and get a very similar setup going on here. Here now it's just a little bit of a dance, moving things around, finding that perfect angle of the lights, adjusting the phone just right until you're ready to podcast like a beast. Then we just plug in the receiver for the DJI Mic Mini into the phone, and each Veronica and I can plug in one of the transmitters or the TX
Situations, these little guys, the DJI Mic Minis.
and we're ready to go. We do a test recording, and would you look at that? This looks pretty good. How do I make a podcast more interesting? What do you think it is that is really going on? What are they really asking?
What we're asking is, how do we make something that people will embrace? How do we make something that people like? How do we make something that people will keep coming back to?
All in all, the whole setup only takes a matter of minutes. This is something that not that long ago took a really long time, required a lot of education in terms of how cameras work, and the lighting used to be way more expensive than it is now. So now after Veronica and I record an episode, here's some tips to get even more buttery results out of your brand new show. While you're there in that setup, you can quickly just sort of pivot your camera towards one side or the other, move the lights around subtly, and set up a solo host shot where whoever's hosting your episode can do the administrative pieces or clips that you might want to record, such as your intro, where you introduce the guest that you're going to bring on, any calls to action, like any product that you want to promote or any sponsor that you might convince to run an ad on your show, and then the outro pieces where you send people to the next episode or where you let your listeners and viewers know what to expect or what's coming next. All of those clips are a lot less stressful to record by yourself in a separate situation on a separate recording than right there with your guest. So now it's time that we've got to unpack and look at the reality of editing on this thing. Can you actually edit a long form piece of content in a realistic way that isn't ridiculous on a phone? If you're an uptight video editor, video producer, professional like me, you're probably freaking out even thinking about it.
He doesn't wear pants!
So I got into the App Store and I downloaded about every video editing application that you can find. I also asked ChatGPT which ones it recommends for long format content, which ones have a lot of features that I'm looking for as a video editor that I could try out and see if they actually work. Is there enough real estate on this thing to actually make it worth it? Or is it just frustratingly crazy and should you just get to a computer or hire an editor? Is this something that's accessible for you? I have to say I was insanely surprised by the results, and in next week's video, I compare and contrast the top 5 video editing apps that are available on the App Store, including the free iMovie that comes with your phone, CapCut, Adobe Premiere, Splice, and LumaFusion. Not only do I unpack them, but I show you the practical techniques, and I teach you with each how you can achieve my active speaker view hack. And I show you which one has the best features and give you my best all-around recommendation. After watching this video, you will see that you can truly create your whole video podcast without ever touching a computer. Don't believe me? Check it out.